Welcome to today's show. We have some big bold moves. I'm telling you, Trump is just full steam ahead. I love it. The Doge is going into full effect. The Department of Government Efficiency with Elon Musk, the richest guy in the world, and Vivek Ramaswamy, another billionaire, who are going to be purely focused on reducing government spend, reducing the size of government, giving back to Americans their hard-earned taxpayer dollars, no more waste. Elon Musk and Vivek put out that they want everyone to send them as much government waste evidence as possible. They have created a new X account, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, where you can post all the government waste things. I love it. We have a ton of evidence to show you as well because we're helping out. We got to do our part. We have things that we spent government taxpayer dollars on, such as $1.5 million spent on studying the effects of yoga on goats. $20,000 was spent to host drag shows in Ecuador. Yes, another country. Taxpayer dollars were spent $350,000 to develop artificial intelligent smart toilets. And there's so much more. It's ridiculous. I cannot wait for them to come in and clean house. We also have it where Senator John Thune has been elected as the new Senate Majority Leader. A lot of people have expressed that he is a rhino and he's been against Trump. We have to have evidence of it, of him saying things against Trump in the past. But hopefully he comes around. We will see. The House Democrats have been caught conspiring with Chuck Schumer to try and sabotage Trump's agenda as much as possible. There's been leaks of what they're trying to do, what laws they're trying to implement, what bills they're trying to pass, just to slow down Trump as much as possible. We also have, there's talks among the House Republicans, like Chip Roy, that want to challenge Speaker Mike Johnson for the House Speaker seat. But Donald Trump has come out and endorsed Mike Johnson for the speaker position. We also have Biden, who's congratulated Trump officially on winning the presidency. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. It really does help to grow the channel. And thank you to all of our members of the channel. Already killing it in the chat. Let's go. And remember, if you want to join the True Life News fam, the link is in the description. And thank you to everybody who gives a super chat donation on the channel. We are truly grateful for your support, and we are going to be working hard to just continue to grow this community, to give back. We're going to be doing an online live giving back to a charity in about a little over a week, and we're so excited for it. But guys, we got a ton of news, breaking news to show you today. Let's jump right into it.
2025 is going to be the year of the deportation. Illegals will be getting, and if D.C. bureaucrats have a problem with that, they'll be sent home too. Tom Homan, Trump's new border czar, says if you broke into the country, start packing your bags.
Ooh.
Now, I'm going to say, if you're in the country illegally, you shouldn't feel comfortable. Absolutely not. I won't feel comfortable if I'm in the country illegally. If I'm in some other country illegally, I'm not going to be comfortable. You shouldn't be comfortable either, because when you enter this country illegally, you have committed a crime. You are a criminal, and you're not off the table.
Before your liberal friends start crying their eyeballs out about mass deportations, tell them it's tradition, and we've been doing it for decades. Clinton deported almost 1 million. Bush deported 2 million. Obama deported 3 million.
Wow.
That sounds like mass deportations to me. Trump's border czar used to work for Barack, and Barack gave Homan an award for breaking deportation records, and the media celebrated him for it. Thomas Homan deports people, and he's really good at it.
That
was the Washington Post. And they told their readers Homan looks like Leonardo DiCaprio. Homan's a plain-spoken former patrolman from far upstate New York with a strawberry blonde crew cut and baby blue eyes.
Wow.
But now that Homan's deporting on Trump's orders, not Obama's, it's bad.
It's bad.
Democrats are coming up with plans to sabotage the deal. One congressman told Axios, we as Democrats have to roll up our sleeves and get into defense and protection mode. And House Democrats are pressuring Biden to fast-track citizenship paperwork before Trump takes over.
I'm telling you.
This is why Trump also wants to start deporting people out of D.C. If you're a Washington bureaucrat, might be time to start polishing up the old resume. Trump's promising to make some major cuts. A government worker at the Energy Department told CNN, I would say there's a general feeling of dread among everyone. They have good reason to feel dread. Trump's going to trim the fat on day one. RFK already has his eyes on slashing 600 jobs at the NIH, same agency that botched COVID. FBI Director Chris Wray, also on the chopping block. He's the guy that raided Trump's home and told Congress Trump wasn't hit by a bullet in Butler. He knows his days are numbered. And as we mentioned at the top, Elon Musk and Vivek are teaming up to slash $2 trillion from the budget.
Woo!
And they can't start soon enough. When I was in D.C. just a couple weeks ago, they told me government workers are still working remotely. COVID's been over for 3 years, and Washington bureaucrats aren't coming into the office. The Trump team's looking to change the rules so he can immediately fire thousands of government workers for cause, like being lazy or blocking his agenda or leaking. The careerists in Washington think they run the place. Presidents come and go, but they're there for life, pushing their own agenda, regardless of what the people voted for. That's about to change, we hope.
Hey, and I'm hoping too. We just got Senator Thune, who's just been nominated as the Senate Majority Leader. Now he's come out and said that he's going to work with the House to pass through and get all the bills done. But again, a lot of people are calling him a rhino. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. Judy Lynn Loving Spirit, you are so awesome. Said, my honor to help a worthy channel. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Judy. Y'all show Judy Lynn some love in the chat, everybody. But this is the biggest thing ever. Trump and Elon and Vivek are working like never before. They've created this new, check it out, this new Department of Government Efficiency. Check this out. I bet you didn't know this, that this is where our taxpayer dollars go through. $33.2 million to house and feed and look after monkeys in South Carolina who are sent to labs for medical research. $6 million for U.S. agency for international development to promote tourism to Egypt. You got to be freaking kidding me. We spent $6 million to send people to tell them to go to another country. $8,400 on the Defense Department's lobster tank. $477,000 to study HIV in transgender monkeys. I don't even know how they know they're transgender. $200 million in COVID relief to major music acts in their touring companies, including Post Malone, Chris Brown, Steve Aoki, Smashing Pumpkins. So in these COVID relief, we spent $200 million on these super famous people to sing. Like, it's mind-blowing where things are going. And all these new Trump picks are making the biggest splash ever. I'm telling you, people cannot stand it. Check this out.
Yes, ring that bell, kids. Avengers assemble. Let's just rock and roll through these things. Donald Trump sending out some bombshell announcements last night. As I said to you, if I don't hear it from Donald Trump, it didn't happen. This came out from his official office last night. The great Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, two guys I really like, will be leading Doge. I love the Doge thing. If you guys are crypto people, you know what that is. But here it stands for the Department of Government Efficiency. This set the liberals into a tizzy. Stand by, as they used to say in the Police Academy in New York on the mustard deck, stand easy. I will get to the media response to that in a second. I just want to get to a few more appointments first. I just want to make one quick point on this. This is probably not going to be some formal government department with any legislative powers, obviously. It's in the Congress. However, it's going to be an advisory board. And let me tell you something. Elon Musk, Vivek, and Donald Trump have a really big microphone.
Yep.
So if the Department of Government Efficiency recommends a bunch of things and a bunch of swampy Republicans are like, screw that, we ain't doing that stuff, then good. You're going to have to deal with a massive PR machine running against you. So I would take what these people do really seriously. They're two serious businessmen. They know what they're talking about. This could be one of the most important announcements yet, even though they're not formal cabinet positions, okay? This, forget it. Set the internet on fire. Long story short, last night, I'm trying to escape the politics just a little bit. I was a little tired yesterday at the end of the radio show. Had a long week. Boo-hoo. Who gives a who cares? But I'm home. I'm sitting upstairs. We got this little, down room. I hang out. It's super dark in here. I'm ready to go visit Lily White's party. Who's Lily White? I don't know. My mother used to say that when I was a kid, and she wanted me to go to sleep. So I'm like, and I pop on Laura Ingram's show, and she's got a guest on. The guy's like mid-sentence. Usually they let them finish the sentence, right? Guy used to do the Fox show with me. You let him finish the sentence, you go, hold on, breaking news. Mid-sentence, she cuts him right off, and she's like, breaking news. Folks, I had no idea. It was Pete Hegseth. I know I said I do it in a word, but throw that one up if you would, Guy. Pete Hegseth is now going to be nominated to be the Secretary of Defense. If you want to sound cool about it, like say, SecDef, whatever. Secretary of Defense. Pete Hegseth. That's pretty good, Guy. I like it. Folks, I've known Pete a long time, a really long time. Like in Dan Bongino's life, I've only been alive 50 years in a few weeks. I've known Pete for about 1/5 of it. Pete is an amazing guy. I want to tell you, I 100% support this. Pete is a door kicker. Pete understands what needs to be done. Pete understands the tactical component. He understands the foreign policy component. He understands the PR component. He's selling America, and he's selling the military to new recruits as well.
Let's go.
He is absolutely committed to ripping wokeness out of the military. Wrote a whole book about it. I highly recommend you pick it up. He's a good man and a decent man. I support him 100%. And what do I always tell you guys? Michael and I didn't talk about this yesterday. Always gauge the effectiveness of a pick or a political tactic by what? The response of your political opponents. And folks, diapers were being changed everywhere. People were crapping all over the place in their diapers. They all had to be cleaned up by mama. It was a total mess yesterday on the left. They don't know what to do. And just so you know, because I'm never going to fake it or anything, Dan, did you know? I had absolutely no idea. None. Matter of fact, I talk to Rachel often. I mean, her daughter Evita works here. I mean, her son-in-law's right sitting right there. Rachel and Sean are very close friends of mine. I don't want to speak for them, but I'm reasonably confident they didn't know either. I was talking to Rachel probably a few hours before that happened. I was actually talking to a producer at Fox who knows Pete well from Fox and Friends about Pete going somewhere. She didn't know either. So they had a close hold on this one. Also yesterday, John Ratcliffe. I think a fantastic pick. I got some video of him coming up in a second. At CIA, I have one request from hopefully soon-to-be CIA Director John Ratcliffe. I hope that appointment comes really quick and really fast, or confirmation, I should say. We've got to open all the books.
Yes.
All the books on Spygate. Folks, I promise you that full story has not been told. The angle you should ask about first, and I know Director Ratcliffe, if he's confirmed, we'll get on this. What were we doing with UK intelligence to spy on American political candidates in 2016 and afterwards? You tell that story, it's going to shake up the deep state forever. That's the story that needs to be told. People have been feeding me information about that for a long time. And you know you're watching me. I got that whistleblower who reached out. I get it. I don't care. Watch me all you want. Doesn't matter. Do I look like I care? I don't care one bit. You watch whatever you want. Folks, the media lost it yesterday. Gauge the effectiveness by how the left-wing media responds. If they don't care about a pick, do you notice they were very muted about Elise Stefanik and others, because they don't see any political hay to be made about it? If they're melting down, they know they've got a serious problem. The Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, led by Elon and Vivek. Do you understand this could break up the entire liberal governing model?
Yes.
The liberal governing model is this. Don't go to work, sit on your ass, put your in the seat, do nothing, right? Collect money from the government and wealthy taxpayers. That's it. That's the liberal governing model. If liberals don't have their government-funded NGOs and everything else, they don't have jobs and lives. They're realizing now they may have to actually go to work and produce. And they're freaking out because Elon's going to be in charge. Here is Joy Reid and this clown show of a congressman, David Jolly, who once pretended to be a Tea Party guy. This guy is an absolute fraud and a total life loser with no human dignity at all. ripping apart the Department of Government Efficiency with Elon. That hasn't even started yet because they don't want efficiency. They want to grift like losers. Check this out.
Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, great, we're going to get to hear his voice again for however many years till he gets fired. They're going to lead something called the Department of Government Efficiency. They're supposed to now be in charge of cutting the...
I'm sorry to interrupt, but just remember, Joy Reid, she's sad, guys. She's lost 47% of her viewers since the end of the election. She's probably going to get fired. So don't hold it too much against her. She's just bitter.
Budget, which is normally the job of the House of Representatives. You served in the House. Doesn't the House have to be involved some way in creating a new government agency, or can Trump just whip one up on Twitter?
No, Joy, that's right. I think Donald Trump's just handing out candy right now to his friends and family. Congress is required to establish federal departments to define the jurisdiction, to decide how it's appointed. Presidents can certainly appoint aides and non-congressional positions, but there will not be a Department of Government Efficiency without Congress, which actually raises the question, does Congress now just rubber stamp that in one of its next appropriations bill? And here's what it's going to be. This is your Project 2025 department.
Yes.
The Department of Government Efficiency by Ramaswamy and Elon, that's your Project 2025 department without the bad impressions that Heritage created during the campaign trail.
David Jolly, that guy you heard next who ran as a fake Republican, is a life loser. Like, I'm one of the worst guys to ever enter the Congress at any point. An absolute zero with not a shred of human dignity whatsoever. Do you hear him at the end? This is Project 2025. Project 2025 was a heritage think tank product that is put out every single year by conservative think tanks. Elon Musk and Vivek have absolutely nothing to do with it at all. So why would David Jolly say it? Because David Jolly is a loser. He is a life loser. He lies for a living. He lies on a show that loves lying. It's why nobody watches that crap network, and it's why their ratings have absolutely collapsed, because people are tired of people like David Jolly lying. Personally, folks, Project 2025, look at it. It has some great ideas in it. Am I going to agree with all of them? No. Are you? No. It's a think tank product. They had nothing to do with it. That's what these people do. Gauge the reaction by how successful, gauge the success of your thing by the reaction. Their freak out tells me double down on Vivek and Elon. And to the swampy Republicans out there, if they find these efficiencies, you better think twice before you even get the idea of voting this.
Guys, I'm telling you, the whole Department of Government Efficiency is real, and people don't even realize. So I brought up a video that, I don't know, earlier this year, we passed a $1.2 trillion spending budget. I want to show you some things that nobody realizes were actually in the bill. And a lot of people are saying, can we repeal some of this? Can we repeal some of this? Yes, because the money hasn't fully been spent yet, but it's been allocated. Check this out.
There's an old saying, nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Well, this morning at 2:23, Congress released a monster 1,012-page bill with $1 trillion price tag. They're rushing to pass the bill before you have a chance to read it. Why?
God,
well, because it's full of
crazy.
pork. And we've been digging through it, and here's what you're paying for. Liz Warren is spending $850,000 on a gay senior citizen home in Boston.
Ken Allen, welcome to the family. Let's go. Show Ken Allen some love in the chat, everybody.
Florida has the villages. Massachusetts has the village people. We're spending $15 million to pay for Egyptians' college tuition. Egyptian tuition, not Egyptians who live in America. Egyptians in Egypt. Egyptian tuition.
You can't make this crap up.
So we pay for illegals to go to college here, and now we're paying for the tuition before I guess they even cross the border. Speaking of Egypt, Gold Bar Bob's sending 400 grand to a gay activist group that teaches elementary school kids about being trans. Not enough to keep you out of jail, Gold Bar. Sorry.
Can you believe this crap?
Another $400,000 goes to a group that gives clothes to teens that help them hide their gender, like chest binders and tuckums. Parental permission not required. Even Dianne Feinstein, who unfortunately passed away long before the bill was written, has an earmark from the grave. $500,000 for a DEI zoo. The San Diego Zoo's getting $500,000 for an
Come on.
nature appreciation program where high school kids from diverse backgrounds can observe wildlife. Why do they need $500,000 to go to the zoo? Tickets are like $15. That should be enough for every congressman, especially the Republicans, to vote no. But this massive bill will probably be on Biden's desk this weekend, and he'll just sign your money away. Poop.
That's what happens. You think that you think that's crazy? Check this out. I'm telling you, you cannot make this crap up. It literally bothers me how much of this that the average American doesn't have a say in. Check this out.
One of my other all-time favorites from the National Science Foundation, this kind of goes back to William Proxmire and love and happiness. They wanted to know if you take a selfie of yourself while smiling and you look at it later in the day, will that make you happy? Really? That's $500,000. I don't think we need a scientist to say that that's BS and the government's got no business doing this kind of research.
Can you
I don't
believe
even
this
think people
crap?
call this research with a straight face, but it goes on, year on, year on. And you think we've been complaining about this since 1972. You think maybe we'd have less of it. We're giving them more money. So we're now increasing their budget by 68% despite this kind of research. The last one I have is this. We spent $1.3 million on insect ranching. This is money that was sent to study whether or not we could put insects into animal feed. We spent another $3 million, though, wanting to know if humans would eat ants to prevent climate change. What will you do, America, to combat climate change? Will you eat ants to combat climate change? That was a study. This is not science. This is ridiculous in nature. Actually, I lied. I've got one more example. We spent $1.5 million studying lizards on a treadmill. So I know you've all been curious. When lizards walk and they kind of waddle and they have a funny walk, why do they walk that way? What's going on in their knee joints? What do their hip joints look like when they waddle across the lawn? Everybody wants to know that, but are you willing to spend $1.5 billion of your taxpayer dollars to take x-rays, live, real-time x-rays of a lizard walking on a treadmill? I tend to think, maybe Alzheimer's research, maybe cancer research,
Right.
maybe heart research, but spending good, hard cash on x-rays of a lizard on a treadmill do not strike me as the most pressing concerns of government.
Do you believe this crap? You seriously, if I asked you, come up with the craziest thing you could think of that the American dollar is being spent on, and you probably wouldn't have thought of those things that were just said. Millions upon tens of millions upon billions of dollars of our hard-earned money wasted away because there's no accountability. This is they just released this. Elon Musk just made this X account. Literally, I'm not joking, 30 minutes ago, it only had 13,000 followers. Now it's got 93,000. We are going to be following it because we want to know what's going to go on. And this is the Department of Government Efficiency. The people voted for major reform. So I had somebody who just asked, they said, hey, what happened with the Rick Scott? Wasn't everybody endorsing him like Elon Musk and stuff? Check this out. This is what shows you the difference between politicians and we the people's votes. So the politicians voted for Senator John Thune. We the people, Elon Musk asked who should be the Senate Majority Leader right here. And look, overwhelmingly, 66% said Rick Scott out of over 1 million votes. This is where, again, there's still a lot of the swamp in there. We still got to get it out. And that's what I feel like over the next 4 years should be the ultimate goal of Trump and his administration is to get out the swamp. But I'm telling you this, it's already been leaked, what I'm about to show you next, that they are working on trying to get out or trying to sabotage Trump's agenda already. Check this out.
Democrats are trying hard to sabotage the Trump agenda before he gets in this last 60 days here, before the inauguration.
it's not lost. I mean, they're going to use every minute they have on the clock while they're still in power, while Chuck Schumer still has the gavel in the Senate, and they're going to get every last piece of their business done that they can. We have to be poised and ready to lead on day one when President Trump is sworn in on January 20th. I think it's really important that we hit the ground running. We make things happen right away because, things didn't go as well when Congress didn't cooperate with President Trump in 2017 when he first took office. There was too many Republicans, frankly, working against him. Now I think that there's a spirit of cooperation that President Trump hasn't experienced in the past. We're ready to work together. We're all on the same page, ready to lead on day one.
No, that's a great point to make, and it's good to hear. Emily, jump in here. What do you think the Democrats can do? What can they do to stall Trump's agenda or even kill it?
I think they have very limited options here, and the question is whether or not the administration pushing money out the door makes it harder to move forward on some of the tax credit repeal or other things that might be challenging. In fact, Congressman, I'd be curious if you think that the administration's desire to spend money, perhaps under the IRA or other policies that they push, will make it harder for House Republicans to actually meet an agenda and get things done in reconciliation on the tax side.
Well, I think reconciliation, continues. Plans continue to move forward, but you have they're trying to preserve every last piece they can. They're trying to spend money that's already been appropriated and get it out the door before anything can be repealed or reconciled. So, I do think that they are going to use every minute right till the 11th hour. I'm sure that they will not leave the Oval Office until they are constitutionally mandated to do. But we have to be prepared to, have our policy agenda in full focus. And I think the president-elect has done a terrific job laying out his cabinet, putting the right people in place so that we are ready to go with an administration. We can get those officials confirmed and pass his 100 days agenda when he's ready.
What about Speaker Mike Johnson's move this week, sending a letter to all of President Biden's cabinet secretaries, directing them to preserve all records, documents, and communications? Johnson is talking about material related to the border, Afghanistan withdrawal, collusion with social media companies, the weaponization of government, and the anti-Semitism on college campuses, Congressman. What do you want to see in the House, and where is this going?
Well, as a member of the House Oversight Committee, I have seen firsthand how the lack of transparency in this Biden administration has been off the charts. I mean, this is probably the least transparent administration in recent memory. They have stonewalled and obstructed every single step of the way. We saw that last year as we were going through everything with the Hunter situation, and they have blockaded really every opportunity they've gotten. So this records preservation is critical. It's the law, frankly. That's the most important factor here. But we need to be able to unwind exactly what happened these last 4 years, what led to the Afghanistan withdrawal that they haven't been honest with. I mean, we saw during the campaign just how dishonest they were every single step of the way. I mean, cooking the books on jobs numbers, going, every single metric that they were able to use on crime statistics, they lied and misled people. These are things that we need to get the full story, because otherwise it's really tough to lead going forward when you don't know where we've been for the last 4 years. And we need to use our full oversight authority to go through that information.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And I'll tell you this. We need, just like you heard, Mike Johnson has already sent out all the letters saying that we need to preserve everything. Do not destroy anything, because this is the type of crap that is coming out the American people need to know about, and we need to hold the administration accountable. The White House was unable to track $6.2 billion that was sent to Ukraine. We don't know where it's at. We don't know what happened to it. California was unable to track $24 billion spent to combat homelessness. The Pentagon was unable to track $2.3 trillion, with a T, not billion, trillion dollars of military spending. The U.S. Treasury was unable to track $5 trillion of pandemic spending. The IRS, we know you sent $601.50 to your friend. You better report it or you're going to jail. Guys, this is it. Just that last part that I sent. The IRS came out and said, hey, if you send anybody over $600, you better report it to the IRS or we're coming after you. But yet these trillions and billions of dollars that happen and we have no accountability, we have no transparency on, and this is why the Department of Government Efficiency is probably the biggest thing, like Trump said, since the Manhattan Project. Because we don't know what the crap is going on with our own government. And Trump has come out and laid out another bombshell video today over what's going to happen with all the spending, the federal funding to all these woke colleges that are getting billions of dollars of federal funding, but yet they're trying to turn our students against the United States. Check this out.
In recent weeks, Americans have been horrified to see students and faculty at Harvard and other once respected universities expressing support for the savages and jihadists who attacked Israel. We spend more money on higher education than any other country, and yet they're turning our students into communists and terrorists and sympathizers of many, many different dimensions. We can't let this happen. It's time to offer something dramatically different. Under the plan I'm announcing today, we will take the billions and billions of dollars that we will collect by taxing, fining, and suing excessively large private university endowments, and we will then use that money to endow a new institution called the American Academy.
Ooh.
Its mission will be to make a truly world-class education available to every American, free of charge, and do it without adding a single dime to the federal debt. This institution will gather an entire universe of the highest quality educational content covering the full spectrum of human knowledge and skills, and make that material available to every American citizen online for free. Whether you want lectures or ancient histories or an introduction to financial accounting or training in a skilled trade, the goal will be to deliver it and get it done properly. Using study groups, mentors, industry partnerships, and the latest breakthrough in computing, this will be a truly top-tier education option for the people. It will be strictly non-political, and there will be no wokeness or jihadism allowed.
Let's go.
None of that's going to be allowed. Most importantly, the American Academy will compete directly with the existing and very costly four-year university system by granting students degree credentials that the U.S. government and all federal contractors will henceforth recognize. The Academy will award the full and complete equivalent of a bachelor's degree. In addition, to help the 40 million Americans who have some college education but no degree, the American Academy will grant credit for past coursework at legacy institutions and give you the chance to complete your education at the American Academy for free and much more quickly than is now possible or available.
Let's go.
This will be a revolution in higher education and will provide life-changing opportunities for tens of millions of our citizens. Enjoy it, learn from it, and thank you.
I love it. You see that? We're getting freedom cities. We're getting these this new free, what do you call it? Freedom University. And you know where that came from? Elon Musk. Because Elon Musk has a big problem with the schools in the education system. Check this out. So today I want you to watch this and I want to give you my thoughts in just a minute, but this was the interaction between Biden and Trump.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President,
Thank you.
Donald, congratulations.
Thank you.
And looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
Good.
welcome.
Thank you, thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Joe.
Let me tell you this, guys. My opinion is Biden's sitting there being like, look, man, we're going to help you as much as possible because please don't come after me. Please don't come after my family. Please don't, because we've been so, we've done things that we shouldn't have done. That's literally what I see on Biden's face. Like, to me, it's 100%. But again, too, there's more things. So check out this. Because I like to bring the receipts. We learned this from our boy Bongino. This is why Doge is super important. So not only have we spent the $20,000 on drag shows in Ecuador, we spent $30,000 to study the secret language of butchers in Paris for some freaking reason. I don't even know why. We had $750,000 for the New York Metropolitan Opera fire alarm. Dang, I didn't know fire alarms cost that much. We told you about the $350,000 to develop AI smart toilets. And $660,000 to study the impact that COVID had on Russian women. What about American women? I don't know. But I'm telling you this. There's so much government waste. It's disgusting. And we are about to see it like never before, that we've got people who are business oriented. Clean up the P&Ls. Make sure that we're not wasting any money, who are going to come in and help clean house. That is 100% where we're at, what we need to. Check this out.
Former White House press secretary and co-host of Outnumbered, Kayleigh McEnany, is here. So, Kayleigh, Pete Hegseth could be the next Secretary of Defense. What the heck? Can you believe it?
I mean, look, I was stunned when I saw it, but then it made all the sense in the world. You know, I was with Pete Hegseth. I was guest hosting the weekend show on October 8th, so the day after the horrific October.
And hey, if you are in favor and you love that the government is going to be cleaned up and they're going to save our taxpayer dollars through Doge, smash that like button. I want us to see us get to 1,000 before the end of the show, 1,000 likes, because this is big, big stuff, everybody. Let's show your support. Smash that like button, please.
7th attack. We started at like 5 a.m. that day, Jesse. And there's Pete Hegseth at 4:58 a.m. at the wall with a map of the Middle East, naming every single country by heart and the interplay between the actors and how geostrategically this would work if there was a larger conflict. So this is the guy for the job. Smart, patriotic, can't say enough good things about him. It makes sense, and it also helps that the guy you're looking at is central casting, Jesse.
Yes, central casting, something Donald Trump always looks for. It's an exciting time, and not just Pete Hegseth. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are being now tapped to reform government, completely reshape it, streamline it, slash trillions of dollars from it, get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, and do it quickly, and use AI while they're at it.
This is the single most important thing that I think the Trump administration can do. I spoke with Vivek many times about how horrific it is that you have these career civil servants that sit there and undermine every single order from President Trump. I saw it during my tenure. I used to talk to Stephen Miller about it. And just on the way out the door, Trump put in Schedule F to allow him to mass fire these civil servants. But these guys are going to be creative. I think you're going to see agencies moved across the country that are going to force people to quit. You're going to see a cleaning.
Oh, come on.
And innovation come in, and government efficiency, and most importantly, a bureaucratic class that can no longer undermine the guy who got the largest popular vote count of any Republican president in raw numbers, and that would be Donald Trump.
Right. Well, I mean, after what this government did during COVID, it's definitely time for a reckoning.
Yes.
Tell me about the new CIA director. I know you were there when John Radcliffe was there. He's now in charge at Langley. What does that mean for our enemies? And what does that mean for us getting some answers about a lot of cover-ups over the last few decades?
Yeah, I worked with John Radcliffe. He was director of national intelligence when I was there. Smart on his game, can stand up to our enemies. The CIA, I think, will be very good on his watch as we see that transfer from Gina Haspel to someone who I think is much more in line with the Trump agenda and John Radcliffe. But one thing that's interesting, when you add all this together, what I know about John Radcliffe, what I know about Mike Waltz, what I know about Elise Stefanik, and now Pete Hegseth, these are people who are traditional conservatives, because there's been this real competition in the movement for, you know, where are we? Are we more populist or traditional on the world stage? These are individuals who know peace through strength, which is Donald Trump's huge vision that he implemented, no new wars on his watch. And America first is not America alone. When you add all these together, these are people who understand the importance of alliances, standing up to our enemies. And that is the Trump doctrine. That is it in a nutshell. And it tells me he's stuck with his gut, and he's chosen people that are going to manifest that agenda,
Yes.
John Radcliffe being a top one.
So the cabinet's almost filled up, and it's like, what, 6, 7 days since the election really was called. What does that tell you about operationally how this is going to be different than the first Trump term?
Well, what it tells me is Trump would always say, look, I'm superstitious. I don't want to talk about cabinet appointees. But he had it in his mind all along. I think he knew he was going to win this election. He was ready to go. And these picks are so much more in line with him. These aren't, the establishment names that are related to X, Y, or Z, high-level Republican official that was pushed on him by the RNC, which is what happened out of the gate. These are people he's had long, detailed conversations with. He's sat down with. He's gotten to know over 8 years in most cases. They're ready to go. I predict you're going to see an end to the Ukraine war in short order, maybe in the first 6 months, a Saudi Arabian peace deal. You're going to have China on its heels, the economy booming. I think you're going to see a Trump agenda on steroids. We got there at the end of the first administration. I mean, just be ready, Jesse, because I think these first 100 days might be like 1,000 days in Joe Biden time.
Yeah, they voted for change, and it's coming quickly. Kaylee?
I love it, guys. We have so much change coming. And also, too, breaking news. This just happened because, again, too, remember, on this show, I've got a show built out for you. We've got things to show you, but I'm always watching the news because things break, and I want to show you just as they happen. So check this out. This is awesome. The United States just passed the Social Security Fairness Act in the House. Now, I expect it to pass the Senate 100%. Everyone deserves their full retirement benefits. This bill would increase benefits by $350+ a month for over 2 million public servants and the spouses of workers who are retired or living with disabilities. This is amazing. So what this pertains to is this would repeal the WEP and the GPO. So this is huge. It's going to affect a lot of Americans on Social Security that need it. And two, it also affects, remember, more for Social Security. No taxes on Social Security. That's what Trump said. They're already working on the bills, and I love it, guys. I just love to see progress for Americans. I've already showed you so much government waste, but I wanted to show you something real quick. Because to me, I tell you, it's all about body language. Like whenever you're watching somebody, how they react. This is Trump, who he's speaking at this Republican conference, and he introduces, says, hey, Elon Musk is in the crowd. Watch how Elon Musk reacts.
Elon has been...
Look, everybody starts standing up. He's just saying hi, hi. Just very, to me, it looks like a very humble, If I'm over here and some of these guys, they stand up and they, stick their chest out and they're just they try to make themselves look big. But he's just like, hey guys, hey, I'm here. Tension's not on me. It's not about me. That's what I feel from Elon. Let me know your thoughts. And I just love seeing that. It makes me super happy because Elon is an immigrant. He's an African immigrant who is here. And when I think, and he's doing so much to help out Americans. And I just love it because he doesn't have to. He's the richest guy in the world, but yet people don't like him for whatever reason. But I'm just glad. He used to be full-fledged Democrat, but now he's on the MAGA side. Let's go. But check this out because our boy Scott Jennings is doing some good stuff on CNN. Check it out.
And the current leadership of the Pentagon and the way the defense situation has been operating for the last several years. I mean, from the Afghanistan pullout, which was an extreme debacle for which no one was held accountable. We've had spy balloons flying over the United States. We built a $300 million pier as a public relations stunt, which wound up killing an American service member. I'd say I've had just about
Oh, yeah, and that $300 million pier, it literally drowned. It's unusable. We can't even use it anymore. Waste of government money.
enough of the so-called insiders running the Defense Department. I think we ought to give Pete Hegseth a chance because he's got two insiders. All the criticism of him is that he's not the expected Washington pick, and I'm just saying to you that the American people just voted against the expected Washington pick. So he's got 20 years in service, Afghanistan, Iraq, 2 Bronze Stars, Princeton, Harvard. Yeah, he's on TV, but so are the rest of us.
By the way,
I think he ought
that
to
list you just gave is really interesting because you highlighted a bunch of things that the civilian leadership of the country decided on. In the military, their job was just to execute. They execute.
How did it go?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
How did it go?
In terms of the decision making, you're assigning decision making responsibility to the military over things that civilians were responsible for.
So you make a good point. The civilian leadership made decisions, and then the people they put in charge of the Pentagon carried it out. And it was all pretty much a disaster. So now we have a new president who I think got elected in part because of some of those disasters, and he's going to put in some of the non-insiders in charge of not just this agency, but a bunch of them. Now, look, they've got to perform. They've got to perform. I mean, we got 53 U.S. senators that are Republicans, and Pete Hegseth, he's an American hero. The man won 2 Bronze Stars for his service, and he's been a champion for veterans. He's going to have to go up there just like everybody else and prove his knowledge of how to do this job. He's not immune from that, but we ought to give this man a chance, in my opinion.
Yes, and see, the left, the CNN, MSNBC, they cannot stand all these appointments because they're non-traditional. They're not the career swamp politicians. So breaking news just happened 2 minutes ago, everybody, 2 minutes ago. Trump has now nominated former Congresswoman Lieutenant Colonel, I can't stand sometimes the American language. It's Colonel is, if you pronounce it like sound it out, it's Colonel, but we're supposed to pronounce it Colonel for whatever reason. Tulsi Gabbard, everybody, will serve as Director of National Intelligence. How awesome is that? I love it. Like, these people who are not swamp people. She was a Democrat. She's now a proud Republican, joined the dream team, now is going to be Director of National Intelligence. And what I love that everybody always said about her was that she was always one that didn't just fall in line. Even though she was a Democrat, she always tried to be cool with everybody. And now she's going to be running the National Intelligence. I love it. And now a lot of people have been asking, saying, hey, who's going to be the press secretary? Is it going to be Scott Jennings? Is it Tucker Carlson? Well, this is the front runner who I'm about to show you for the position for press secretary. Check it out.
And now tonight, the left wing's weaponization of justice against President-elect Trump continues to crumble. Earlier today, the judge in Donald Trump's falsified business document case, Judge Juan Merchan, paused all court deadlines, including the November 26 sentencing date, to consider the effect of his victory in last week's election. Meanwhile, attorney for President Trump and his spokesman, legal spokesperson Alina Habba, has, according to reports, emerged as a frontrunner for the role of White House press secretary. Woo! Alina joins us now with reaction. First of all, it was your legal team that, in fact, requested this delay, indefinite delay. Finally, Judge Merchan agreed to something. But for all intent and purposes, isn't this case really dead?
It was dead upon arrival, Sean. We know that. This case was never supposed to be brought. We also know that the DOJ had appointed people, Pomerantz included, that were supposed to go in and investigate Trump before he decided to run for office. And then when he decided to run for office, they brought charges. We know what this has been. We've been talking about it for years. This was a sham trial that was brought to keep President Trump in the New York courts, as all these cases were, and they failed. So now we have a judge who, frankly, should have dismissed it today. Hopefully he will. He should. And the Supreme Court has spoken on this. It's exhausting to the American people at this point, I think they spoke loudly on November 5th about why they're tired of it and the direction the American people want to go, which is America first, policies, security, economic prosperity, things like that. Not these sham trials, and not seeing people from the left put in DOJs to attack political opponents. This should never have been brought. And if you actually look at it, Sean, this was a case that was denied. Nobody wanted to bring it. Cy Vance didn't want to bring it. Alvin Bragg didn't want to bring it. And then you're looking at people like Jack Smith, $50 million, we found out, $50 million of taxpayer dollars going against a political opponent. America's had enough. They spoke loudly on November 5th. So I'm looking forward to the next administration stopping this lawfare and witch hunt.
Okay, so let me ask you, what is the likely decision that the judge will make in this case when, I guess, it finally goes before him for a final adjudication?
It should be dismissed. There's actual, first of all, there's testimony that came out that should not have come out. There's nothing that the president did wrong. This case was past the statute of limitations, just like Tish James, just like everything else. This was a complete political opponent move. This has nothing to do with legal eloquence, legal lawfare statutes. It was a state case that was stacked so that they could make it a federal case to try and prevent him from becoming president. And it didn't work, Sean. So it should be dismissed. It should never have been brought. And if Judge Merchan wants to have any dignity, any dignity from the American people in the robe, in the office of all attorneys and judges and the DOJ, he should stop this nonsense right away.
As you pointed out, I mean, it was past the statute of limitations. They stacked charge upon charge upon charge. I think maybe one of the more egregious parts of this and evidence of the weaponization of Biden's DOJ is their third highest ranking official came in to help Alvin Bragg. Nobody is going to give up that spot to go work for Alvin Bragg in New York City when they're the third highest official in the DOJ, but they did that anyway.
Sean, I'll one-up you on that. Take a look at the White House logs. Take a look at the DAs and the AGs that have come in and coordinated with the President of the United States. That's the Harris administration. That's the woman that just ran against President Trump and lost in a major way. America is done with this. We see it for what it is. It was lawfare. There is nothing he did wrong. They put the judges, they tried all the way up to the Supreme Court and lost. And there's a reason for that. The American people are speaking loudly. You cannot attack political opponents who have done nothing wrong. You cannot put people from the DOJ. You cannot put Hillary Clinton's law firm in charge of prosecuting political opponents. It's un-American. I hope that the American people never have to speak about this again. I really do. And I believe President Trump will make sure of that.
Let's talk about the possibility and reports that you might be the president's press secretary. Any truth to it?
Look at her. Look.
I leave it.
If you notice, watch the body language. She swallowed in her throat because she knows that, okay, I've been asked. I've been thinking about it. I'm telling you, you got to watch everything.
To the president and 3 people that are on my board of directors. That's Luke, Chloe, and Parker, my children. Everybody will know in time.
All right, now I got to go in a little harder. Have there been any discussions about it?
Sean, you know me better than that. You would never have me on primetime if I answered questions like that. Look, President Trump has put together an amazing cabinet. I'm really proud of the work that him and his transition team have done. I think when we look at everybody, they are killing it on all fronts. America's excited for, frankly, sorry to use Mrs. Waltz's term, but turn a page. It's time to turn the page. It's time to have advocacy for America first. And whatever that looks like for President Trump and his team, I trust it. It's a decision for all of them to make, not me.
All right, serious question. If you were asked to serve in that role or any other role, would you?
I am very loyal to President Trump. I would think about it.
Let's go, everybody. Look, Trump's dream team is coming together. I'm so excited about it. I'm just so excited that we're finally getting people that are talking about things that matter to Americans, that affect us, our taxpayer dollars. Not a lot of people don't think about it, but your biggest thing that comes out of your paycheck every single week, if you get paid weekly or monthly, is taxes. 15, 20% automatically taken out. Imagine if that was zero. Trump has said that. With tariffs, reducing government spend, that we could eliminate the federal income tax. Like, this is like amazing things, because if you put more money back into Americans' pockets, the people will spend it, the economy will grow, the business people will go start more businesses, we'll hire more people, we'll do things more to boom the economy, make it give it a big boost. And I'm just excited where things are going, and I'm just so thankful for this community. I'm thankful for this for YouTube allowing us to be able to do this, and I just want to continue to serve you every single day. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, and if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. It really does help out. And I'm just so thankful just for everybody in the chat, the members, thankful for all the super chat donations. Judy Lynn, Loving Spirit, thank you everybody for the gifted. Tarina Smith gifting the the True Life News membership. Remember, the link is in the description if you want to join. And I just want to say that me and my family are so grateful. You know, this is a blessing that we get to do this every single day. And we just want to continue serving you just like the politicians need to serve us. We, the people, every single day. Because think about it like this. For a long time, the politicians have been screwing over the American people. They've been spending our money like it was nobody's business. And we trusted them. But now we have enough evidence where we can't trust them anymore. We need accountability. We need the Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, so that way we can know where our tax dollars are going. We don't have to spend $500,000 freaking dollars to know if you take a selfie while smiling and look at it later if it makes you happy or not. We don't need to spend $20,000 on drag shows in Ecuador. Like, what the heck is going on? But I'm glad we got Elon Musk. We got the dream team. They're coming in to do some great, great things. Love you all. Appreciate you all. And see you in the next one.